In the heart of the Middle East, a conflict has shaped world politics for over 70 years. Israel, a state born from the ashes of World War II, has faced wars, terrorism, and existential threats. But critics argue that its policies, supported heavily by the United States, have also fueled cycles of violence, displacement, and instability. Today, we sit down with an expert voice to ask, is Israel exercising its right to self-defense, or crossing the line into systemic oppression and propaganda? Let's begin at the roots. Why do critics argue Israel has destabilized the region since its founding?
Much of the criticism starts in 1948, with the Nakba, when over 700,000 Palestinians were displaced during Israel's creation. That mass displacement created a refugee crisis that persists to this day. Then, in 1967, after the Six-Day War, Israel occupied the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem. The occupation, and the ongoing expansion of settlements, has been described by many human rights groups as the central obstacle to peace.
And beyond occupation, what about the wars themselves?
The record is long. In 1982, Israel invaded Lebanon. Its failure to prevent the Hasbara and Shatila massacre, where hundreds of refugees were slaughtered by Lebanese militias allied with Israel, is still considered a moral catastrophe. More recently, military operations in Gaza, such as Cast-led in 2008-09, Protective Edge in 2014, and the current campaigns, have killed thousands of civilians. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and UN panels have all raised alarms about war crimes and collective punishment.
Israel often argues it's simply acting in self-defense. How do critics respond to that?
Critics acknowledge Israel faces genuine threats, rockets, terrorism, hostile neighbors. But they argue its responses are disproportionate: sieges, blockades, and bombings that devastate entire populations. These measures don't just neutralize militants, they collectively punish civilians, radicalize communities, and perpetuate endless cycles of violence.
If military power is one pillar of Israel's survival, political backing is the other. No ally has been more vital than the United States. Why does America provide such unwavering support?
Since the Cold War, Israel has been a key strategic ally in the Middle East. Today, it is the largest cumulative recipient of U.S. foreign aid. Multi-year agreements guarantee billions of dollars annually, mostly in military assistance. Critics argue this support gives Israel free rein. Even when the world condemns its actions, Washington shields it, vetoing UN resolutions and supplying advanced weapons.
Some say this is because of lobbying power in Washington. Is that true?
Lobbying plays a big role. Groups like AIPAC are among the most influential in American politics. They shape legislation, secure funding, and promote pro-Israel narratives across the political spectrum. Scholars like John Mearsheimer and Stephen Walt argue this Israel lobby pushes U.S. policy in directions not always aligned with broader American interests. Others say it's more complicated. Shared values, strategic alliances, and domestic politics all play a part. But the influence is undeniable.
Outside of politics and warfare, how does Israel defend its image globally?
Through Hasbara, Hebrew for explanation. It's a coordinated public diplomacy effort, media tours, influencer campaigns, social media networks, and official spokespeople framing the narrative. Supporters see this as necessary, Israel telling its side of the story. Critics say it's propaganda, shaping narratives, silencing dissent, and discrediting anyone who challenges the state's version of events.
What about extremist groups like the Jewish Defense League?
The Jewish Defense League, founded in the US, has been labeled extremist and linked to violence. But it's crucial to understand, such groups don't represent Judaism, Jewish communities, or even most Zionists. The danger lies in conflating fringe extremists, the Israeli state, and Jewish people as a whole. That's how legitimate criticism morphs into anti-Semitism.
And here lies a painful contradiction: the language of terrorism. Many feel there's a double standard. Muslim groups are quickly branded as terrorists, but when Israel bombs civilians, it's called self-defense. Is that fair?
It's a real double standard. When Islamist groups like Al-Qaeda or ISIS deliberately target civilians, they're labeled terrorists, rightly so. But when a state like Israel kills civilians in large numbers, a language softens: operations, collateral damage, defense. Human rights groups argue that if deliberately or recklessly killing civilians is terrorism for non-state actors, it should also be called out as war crimes or state terrorism when a government does it. The choice of words isn't neutral. It shapes global perception.
So what's the bottom line?
Israel isn't a puppet master, and Jewish people worldwide shouldn't be blamed. But the Israeli state's policies, occupation, settlement expansion, blockades, and military campaigns have inflicted immense suffering and instability. US support, amplified by lobbying, has insulated Israel from accountability. And Israel's propaganda campaigns work tirelessly to maintain that shield. If we want a clearer future, we need to separate religion from policy, propaganda from reality, and confront the facts without prejudice.
The Middle East remains caught in cycles of violence, cycles of fear, vengeance, and power. Whether Israel's actions are seen as defense or domination, it depends on who controls the narrative. But the human cost, children, families, entire communities, is the one truth no propaganda can erase. Genocide cannot hide. Ethnic cleansing is not something we can stand for, and human rights must remain intact globally. The balance of good and evil has always played part in our history. But what will you side with?